so much for joining us. It's great to have you here talking about sound connections and also your own personal journey as well. So do you want to start by just telling us a bit about who you are, what you do, what is Sound Connections?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. So, my name's Jasmine. I'm a program producer for Sound Connections, who are a music charity youth organisation based in Shoreditch, London. And our mission is essentially to and increase access and opportunities in music for young people across the United Kingdom, but also the world. So, we're based in London and we do this in a number of ways, one of them being through Wired for Music, which is our network of young creative Londoners. And essentially it's run by our members. They can communicate with us and we put on a lot of live music events and provide paid opportunities for young people to get experience in the music and creative industries without the pressure of it being, too much responsibility. So you can really come in at an entry level and just find out what we're about. We also develop and deliver training programs for professionals and teachers working in the music world, so that they can make sure that their programs and the work that they do is best suited to support young people. But essentially, we're about just embedding young people's voices in every step of the journey. So that's the work that I do at Sound Connections. And then I'm also an independent artist, musician. So I'm singer, songwriter, I make music when I'm not working for Sound Connections. And yeah, I create sort of dark electro R&B music, self-produced. And that's kind of me.
Amazing. And is your artist name a different name to Jasmine?
So my artist name is Jasmine Sophia. So without the A in Jasmine. So it's Jasmine and then Sophia, Sophia.
Amazing. Well, everyone go have a listen. Um, Also, there's something for everyone on this call here. Students, stuff that you guys do for students, and also staff as well, like you say, music teachers and things. So I'm sure everyone has got something already out of this interview.
Yeah, hopefully.
So tell us a bit about your own career journey, because like you say, you're kind of
Mhm.
a dual, I guess, career woman.
So when I was in school, I art was always my favorite subject. I was quite academic, so I ended up going into a more science-based degree once I left school and thought that that was the journey that I was going to go on. But after 1 year at uni, I kind of realized that it wasn't doing it for me, and I didn't feel like I was where I was supposed to be. So I sort of had to drop out of that course after a year and rethink where I wanted to go. And I came back to that thing of art always being the thing that I loved in school. So I started looking at more creative careers, design, and things like that, and ended up going to study design at Goldsmiths in London. So that was a 3 year course. But at the same time as I started studying that, I kind of realized that I really wanted to pursue music seriously because that had also always been a dream of mine, but something that I never thought was realistic or possible. And then I moved to London and I met a lot of other creative people that were pursuing their dreams and just kind of thought, well, why can't I do the same thing? So, alongside studying design, I was making music, teaching myself how to produce in Logic, which is like a digital software for creating music, and going to perform, going to events, meeting other people, and yeah, just sort of slowly figuring out my way. Even on my second uni degree, after 2 years, was kind of unsure whether I was going to be able to finish it. So I ended up taking a gap year. And I just want to say that I feel like those years that I took out were so valuable in just learning more about myself and what I wanted and where I wanted to go. And you get to uni and you realize actually everyone's different ages and at different parts of their journey anyway. So it really doesn't matter. So I took a year out and I ended up volunteering at a alternative education provision that was working with young people that weren't in school or education, helping them get their maths and English qualifications and also teaching them music production alongside. So I was sort of teaching, assisting in the world of music production with these young people, and getting sort of more involved in the kind of young person's education space, but also creative education. And I ended up going on to do their marketing and communications after I eventually finished my design degree. So then I was sort of doing marketing and graphic design for charities, specifically like youth charities. I did that for a little while, and then alongside this, was still pursuing my own music career, writing music, creating music videos, all independently. And I came across this organization online called Wired for Music. I was just Googling, looking for music opportunities and things that I could get involved in as a young artist, and found them on Google, I think. And yeah, so I came across Wired for Music, and they were offering paid opportunities to get involved in events production and delivering music workshops. And I also found out that they had this program called Generate, which is a funding opportunity for young musicians aged 16 to 25 to develop their own creative projects. So that could be creating your first EP, or what I ended up doing was creating a live event for the launch of my first EP. So that funding that I got from Wired for Music was really so amazing in being able to turn some of my dreams into reality and just get me started on that journey and in doing things I'd never known how to do before. And I started to build a really positive relationship with the team at Sound Connections, so the organization that runs Wired for Music, and just started to think, oh, this is a cool like place to be. I didn't know organizations and jobs like this existed. There were people that were mentoring me whilst I was doing my event, and just like helping put on all these things for young people to get involved in, and sort of started to think maybe I would like to, work in that world. So a few years more down the line, and the opportunity came up to work with them. So I started doing marketing and communications for Sound Connections, and that was just over 3 years ago. And did that for sort of the last 3 years, and then very recently moved into a new role as a program producer at Sound Connections. So now I'm more on the sort of delivery end of supporting with the programs that we run, and meeting with our clients, and a lot more sort of, yeah, at the front rather than behind the screen, which I'm really excited about, because I'm enjoying sort of having the chance to sort of talk more with people, and just learning new skills myself. But I still feel like I'm very much on my journey. I'm still pursuing music. I'm still making music outside of my work. And fortunately, Sound Connections is a place that supports that and understands that everyone's kind of a bit of a multi-hyphenated career in this day and age. And we all sort of work in quite a flexible hybrid way. Yeah, and that kind of brings me to the present day.
I love that because I mean you started obviously your school career thinking that you were going to go into like science, and so
Yeah,
look at you now. I mean you would never have been able to predict you,
no,
I
not at
guess what
all.
you'd be doing today. So and it's very purpose led as well. I'm sure that it's very hard to know about these kinds of careers or areas of the music industry because they are behind the scenes, like you're saying. But if you are a purpose driven person, this is a fantastic way to fuse purpose and music, the love of music together.
Yeah, I think what most people don't really realize is that so much of the music industry is invisible and goes on behind the scenes, and that whatever your interests and your skills are, there's probably some aspect of the music industry that needs that, like even if you're studying or interested in law, like the music industry needs music lawyers, or if you're really good at maths, like the music industry needs data analysts. Like there's all these things that are happening behind the scenes of the music industry: technicians, sound, lighting, communications, like design. All these things happen, and you can still be involved in the music industry if that's the space that you're interested in being. So I think it's definitely worth doing your own research, because yeah, like I say, most of it is invisible, and you won't find it unless you actually go kind of hunting for it.
And so, what is your top advice for the young people watching if they were thinking about getting into the music industry?
Well, like I just said, my first advice would be do your own research. Go and, find out what jobs and opportunities there actually are out there. Go on YouTube and like all the platforms that you're already using, TikTok, and just search like jobs in the music industry and find out what other people are actually doing, that you might not necessarily find on a Google search, or you might not know what to search for. I think like social media can be a really helpful tool for finding out a bit more about that. And then also find out what you're interested in, and then actually spend time getting good at what that thing is, like don't be afraid to sort of go away and like really develop yourself before coming out and into the world and trying to start your career, because you will stand out when you get there, and it is a really competitive and saturated industry. So having kind of something unique will really sort of give you that push that you need. I would also say be persistent and consistent, because if somebody doesn't, reply to an email the first time, it's not personal. Everyone's extremely, extremely busy, and you kind of just need to sort of keep knocking on those doors again and again until you're in their mind when the right opportunity comes up. So don't take things personally, and don't stop believing in yourself just because, things might take a bit of time. And then also just be authentic, be genuine, and be a nice person, because people like to work with people that they enjoy being around, and word gets around fast if you're not. So yeah, always treat everyone with kindness and respect, no matter if they're a CEO of a company or an intern that's just starting out. Someone said to me, the intern today, in 5 years' time, that might be the CEO of the company. So yeah, treat everyone equally and with respect.
Oh,
And yeah,
that is fantastic.
yeah.
There's so much good advice in that. No, that is brilliant. And also, I think just your story in itself is a kind of big piece of advice there, which is, whatever no matter how much pressure you feel right now, if you're at school, no matter what, definitive path you think you're going to take, like it just won't be like that. So keep an open mind.
Yeah, honestly, my journey looks nothing like I thought it would look like when I was in school. And actually, I couldn't even have imagined this journey for myself because I didn't know it was possible or that it existed. So don't worry if things aren't looking how you thought they would, or you're feeling scared of like where you're going to go next. Just keep trying things is the key. Just keep like pushing, keep experimenting. Don't be afraid if you fail at something. These are all like really important steps on the journey to ending up exactly where you're supposed to be.
What a brilliant note to end on. Super quick, is there anything, obviously, other than your music and sound connections, is there anything else that you'd like to direct the staff or the young people to who are watching? There are obviously resources that you've included in the aftercare pack as well. So,
Yeah, some of these may be in the aftercare pack, but for staff, I would definitely say check out the events section of Sound Connections website. So soundconnections.org.uk. We put on a lot of training and networking events for music practitioners, educators, and music people working behind the scenes in, sort of how to develop your youth voice practice, how to become more inclusive in your teaching approaches, and just spaces to have conversations with other people about, their experiences and sort of share tips and things like that. So next week we've actually got our annual live conference, which is happening in person at Shoreditch. I think maybe this comes out after that, I'm not sure, but it's essentially a whole day event for anyone that's working in the music industry or music education space to come together and learn and talk about inclusive practice and action. And then if you're a young person and you're 16 and above, you can definitely check out Wired for Music. Specifically, if you're in London, we have a lot of paid opportunities that you can get involved in, but also just check out our website for sort of signposting to paid opportunities for funding, work experience, and things like that that you might be interested in get involved in as a young creative.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for joining us. That has been a wonderful interview.
Thank
Um,
you for having me.
Amazing. Well, we'll get you back next year.